She's annoying.
Hi. So I am so excited. Welcome to Tisha Talks. I am so excited about today's conversation. I have two beautiful young ladies with me today that is going to be engaging in conversation with me about a topic that I have been dying to talk about. And I'm sure they have much to say on, which is being single in 2018. And so I am really, really excited about this. I have two special guests. One, her name is joining us today is Tynesha Jackson, aka Tyne of the music group KO Music. Hey, Tyne.
Hey, y'all.
And she is an artist. She is a lovely young lady, just pursuing her passion and pursuing her purpose and doing that thing in this season, right? In 2018. And then I also have Sheenaider with us. Sheenaider, please pronounce your last name because I do not want to say it wrong.
It's Gilliam.
Gilliam, yes, yeah. Sheenaider Gilliam, aka Nader.
AKA
Nader Bug.
AKA Nader, who is a graduate student and an advocate for education. And she is also a commissioner for the Board of Education. So these young ladies are doing some pretty awesome things, and they are single. And let me say, when I say single, I mean not married or engaged to be married, right? So technically that would make you a single person, a single person. So before we get started in this conversation, for those of you who are just joining me for the first time, Tisha Talks is an avenue or a platform where I encourage and inspire women to pursue their best selves. And a part of that is building community and supporting each other in whatever season or facet of life we're in. And so one of the things that I've done, which kind of ties into what we're going to be talking about today, is I've written my first book entitled Second Chances.
Yay.
And thank you.
Which is great, by the way.
Thank you. Which is really tied into what we're talking about today because it's a story of a young lady who, in an effort to try to find herself and looking for love and looking for relationships, experienced a lot of ups and downs. And it's so true and so real to us as women, the things that we encounter when we're looking to be connected to someone and the choices that we tend to make. And so the book is just basically about the life of destiny. It's a fictional book based upon actual life events, aka me, and that journey with being single. But I was single back in the 90s, the late 90s, early 2000s. And I know it's completely different out here now in 2018. So I wanted to engage in conversation with you guys to talk about the differences and how being single in 2018 is a journey all by itself, I'm sure. But before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourselves?
I'm Tyne. I'm 27. I am single, and ready to mingle. No,
tell the truth.
I'm single. I attend Agape Family's Worship Center. Sorry, and Broadway, New Jersey. I've been there for like almost 11 years. I am on the choir. I've been on the choir for like almost, I don't know, a long time, since I was 19. So y'all do the math. 19, 27. Boom, there we go. And I think that's pretty much it. Oh, well, I'm in the KO, and I love just giving back to the youth. Like, questions they ask, they come up to us. Like, it's beautiful. Like, I love helping the youth because I want to see them do better.
You're really active.
I'm very active. Yeah.
Okay. And Nader?
Hi. So like Tisha said, my name is Sheenaider Gilliam, and I am a grad student. This is hopefully, God willing, my last year and as a grad student. And I am a commissioner on the school board. I also attend King University.
Yeah,
I do. I attend Agape Family Worship Center. I am a youth leader. I'm involved in other ministries as well. And I would like to think I'm an advocate for not only children, but senior citizens as well.
Aww.
Yeah, I love them. So I am very busy. I do a lot. I love to bake. That is a hobby of mine. And I am 28. And I guess that's all about me.
Okay, so we have a 27-year-old and a 28-year-old, right? So ladies, let us just dive into this conversation. Is it hard out here in these streets for a single person in 2018?
Yes.
Yes.
I would say one big reason is because social media and the advancements of technology and how things are portrayed on TV and everything. So like the technology wasn't as fast as it was now. So like your eyes wasn't, fixed on like, oh my gosh, look at all this money and stuff like that. I mean, granted, it was there, but it wasn't as much as it is today, on the radio stations. It's just promoting a lot, single and relationships and this and that. So it's just like you're open to more things, seeing more things, and it's changing like our mindsets and how we think. And especially the young adults today, I see it all over. Like younger kids, younger than me, they weren't going through some of the stuff that I was going through when I was their age. I was like, what? Like, so yeah, it's definitely different. It's not only different for like being single, it's also different with just like everything. But yes, and
So would you say that social media plays a role in like your self-image and then like comparing yourself to other women?
Yep.
Yeah.
That definitely plays a part in it. Like I talk to like young girls, like I kind of like a mentoring, and like they just say like, well, I want to do this because I seen so-and-so in the video do it, and I want to look like this because I seen no, like, and I want to have this boo because, or that guy or that NBA guy because I seen her have him, and I was like, oh, that's what I'm gonna be. No, like that shouldn't be you at all. Like that affects low self-esteem, that affects your whole life. That affects who you are. It's like a facade. Like it's not really who you are, so it's just like, at the end of the day, you gotta be yourself.
Right.
So would you guys say that a lot of women show basically their highlights through social media, and so that can kind of be deceptive when you're actually going on these dates? Does it put pressure on you to feel like, or to always appear to be perfect or appear to be something you're not? Neither.
I wouldn't say to like appear to be something that I'm not. I do believe that social media does play a role when it comes to like body imaging, just imaging overall. It's, it's fake, it's airbrushed, it's mad filters, crops, it's positions. It's a ton of different things. And I think it's important for all different types of women, different body shapes and everything, to just accept what you have, and I think confidence plays a big role in it. Like if you view yourself as beautiful, then you don't really need anyone to make you feel beautiful or to so much compliment you. I feel like most women, will take side pictures or different types of pictures and post them on social media, looking for all these likes and comments. And at the end of the day, you're still alone. So I think it plays a big role to just be comfortable with who you are. And so I've accepted that. So I don't have that struggle.
Amen.
I don't have that struggle, thank God.
Thank God.
But I also try not to be connected to social media. It is hard because being young or being just a person in the 21st century, you're always on your phone and you just keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. And the more I would scroll, the more discouraged I would be because I felt like, Dad, my body don't look like that.
Aww.
Like, you know, I'm like, I want to be that. I want to look like her.
Yo, low key, I be saying the same thing, but then like I have good people in my corner. I would text Ish sometimes, be like, bruh, like y'all lucky I'm your little sister, because if I wasn't, I'd probably be out here doing some scandalous things. But God. But yes, to your question, yes, I do agree with what Nader said. Yeah.
So let me ask you, I haven't been on these apps. I haven't seen it or whatever, but I know they have like Tinder out here, and then they have like Christian Mingle, and I don't even know, like I'm saying the names, but I don't even know really what they all do and stuff like that. So what is that like? Like that whole dating via app or via swipe or, you know.
I've never been on those sites. We're going to clarify because I'm going to just say we've never been on those dating websites, okay? But Tinder, I think that Tinder is more like a hookup site. Like it's like a hookup kind of say. And I don't really know much about dating websites. I think people rave about eHarmony or like Match.com. I don't know. I'm more so like, I want to meet you in person and not talk online. And do you know Jesus? Like, I just feel like it's so easy to lie on those sites, and you're having a full-blown conversation with somebody, and you meet this person and they look like Boquisha. Like, I'm like, I don't know. Like, you know, so I think dating in general is difficult for most people, and they find different things that is being advertised and they jump on it. But I think it's a catch. Like, it's not authentic. I think if you want something quick and fast, go on a dating website. But I've never done it.
Now me, I've never done it, but I know friends that have friends that tried some of the dating apps. I don't think they said Tinder, but there was like other ones that are kind of like that are legit, and they actually like, you know, found their spouse and they're married and they're like kind of, yes, it's like still married. And I was like, okay, that's what's up. But I mean, you know, to each his own, you know. So yeah, I guess there's an upside and a downside to, you know, finding someone on the dating sites.
I have a friend too who was I think she was 39 when she got married, but she found her, well, I won't say found, but she met her husband on one of those sites, and so that worked out. But
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
that really is.
Tinder though, it was not Tinder.
Right.
Tinder,
I don't know what Tinder is. Like, the name in itself.
Well, I know. Well, yes, I know a couple that I recently met that I believe originally met on Catholic Mingle or something like that. And they are just a lovely couple. You know, they really are. So I think you have to be honest and transparent when you're doing those
like
type of
real.
Yes.
Yeah.
When you're doing those type of dating websites.
So let's talk about actual dates. Going on actual dates. So what is it like in now in 2018? What have you experienced? Maybe give me one of your best dates and one of your worst, without mentioning names.
Okay, I'll go first. So we'll do the worst.
Take it easy.
Worst date I had, and I don't. This is a couple years ago, but the worst date I had, I think, this gentleman took me to the movies and like, you know, bought like the snacks and the drinks. Okay, so he bought this big slushie, just one. And I'm like, where's mine? Like, what are we gonna do? Like, share it? I don't even know you. Like, so that was, you know, check one. And then, you know, and the movie was kind of corny or whatever. And just fast forwarding to the end of the date, he expected a kiss at the end. And I was like, boy, bye. Like, but, you know, I felt like, okay, because you did something, right, why do you feel the need that I should compensate you with a kiss? I don't work like that. And that was the first and last I seen him, because I wasn't going to entertain that any longer. I just feel like if you pursue me. And if I'm interested, and if I am interested, you'll know that I am interested, right, but I don't have to, you know, kiss or touch or anything like that. So,
I mean, do you think that the pursuit is dead? Like that guys nowadays don't know what it means to pursue a woman?
I wouldn't say it's dead. I would say that I think that they give up. I think some men may be used to like a drive-through, you know, like you go to McDonald's, you tell them what you want, and if it's available, they can get it and they're gone. I'm just saying. So that's what I think. And I also think that it's important too, like if you believe something, stick to it, you know, and if he's interested, he'll stay. And if he's not interested, then you know that wasn't for you. And that just makes my job so much easier. You can leave on your own. Goodbye. So yeah. But some men too, like they just don't know. So I think it's okay to help equip men, to give them tools, to let them know what is it that you're expecting, and if they need help with meeting them, but it's entirely up to them. My best date, I went to Pier 115, and it is on like a shore. Oh, not a shore, but I guess I'm surrounded by water pretty much. And we just talked, nothing crazy or anything like that. And then we had dinner. Then he took me home, opened doors for me, was just really focused on me. Nothing else, not his phone, no one, just me. And I felt very special.
And respectful, right?
And respectful, yes. So it was great. It was great. Yeah. And like he does this thing that I like. This is what caught me. So like, you know, if we're talking, Tyne and I are talking, whatever, we're just talking. And Tyne, she'll just keep eating. Like she just keeps going and talking at the same time. But most of the time, like I'll just keep talking and I won't really eat my food. And what he did was he put the food on my plate first and on his plate. And like, so I was like, oh, he wants me to eat. So let me take a bite, you know, and still converse with him. So yeah, it was really nice.
That's cute. That's so cute.
So Tyne, what was your worst and best?
I don't think I've ever had like a horrible date. Like, because it's like before I go out on a date with you, I kind of have a list to make sure you're even not qualified, but I mean, like, if it's even worth my time or your time going out on a date with you, because.
No, I think qualified was a good word.
Right.
Yeah.
Qualified.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Well, qualified. Qualified to even like, I don't want to waste your time and I don't want you wasting mine. You know, I don't mind having friends, you know, but I just want to know which kind of friends we're going to be. I guess the not so good date I had was pretty much a guy, you know, I met him. Well, I kind of knew him a while back, but, you know, we just never found the time. He would fly out and travel and stuff like that. And so I don't want to tell on him, but he was just
Tell on him.
No, I really don't. But it was pretty much like he was, we went, he did the right things, like, opened the doors at the place, really nice restaurant. I love the restaurant. Get what you want, respectful. And then all of a sudden he whipped out his phone and was like on his phone, like almost the whole night. And I was like, trying to chime in there and ask some questions like, okay, so what do you do? Like, how are you doing now? Like, what's going on in your life? What's new? And, those one word answers, I hate those one word. Oh, good. Just doing stuff. I'm like, what? What are you doing? What are you doing? What stuff? Right now, you're on your phone. That's what you're doing right now. So I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna eat this food and not say anything. But the one that kind of messed me up is when he took me back to my car and he leaned in for a kiss. I was like, now what on earth why would you think I would kiss you? Why? Okay, I'm just gonna keep that short. But pretty much that was that not so good thing. I was so hot after that, like I had to call somebody. But yeah, so good date. I had a lot of good dates, those dates where you just talk. I don't know, like I'm just gonna say there's numerous times, I'm not picky. Like you don't have to take me to the fanciest restaurant, although I do appreciate it because I love to eat. Hint. But I just like we can go to the park. Like I've been to the park, we just chilled, relaxed, like sat on the beach or just chilled in the bowling alley and just sat there and just chopped it up, sat in the car and just talked. Like just I love talking and I love listening. I really love listening. And those moments I cherish the most because even if we don't, wind up getting in a relationship, like I made a cool connection with you. You know that I love God. Whatever you're doing, I'll support you in whatever you're doing. That's what's up. And I guess we go our separate ways, but no bad vibes or whatever. So I guess it was a number of good dates I've been on. So I appreciate those. Shout out to y'all who wants to know this.
I think what I hear you both mentioning and talking about is definitely when he's present and when he's interested in getting to know you.
Yeah.
Spending time, having those conversations, spending time to really get to understand who you are and be respectful, Okay, so how do y'all feel about going Dutch? Like, is that an issue?
Oh, no. Sorry.
What is this?
I think it's corny. Like, it's corny, especially for a first date. If you don't got money, don't take nobody out on a date. Point blank, period. Like, if you can afford something, afford what you can do, and I just think that it's rude. I feel like even for women, if you want to take a man out, treat him like and you can offer. I don't think there's anything wrong with offering to help, but suggesting at the end, being blindsided, like, oh, we about to go Dutch. I'm like, that's not a date. It's like,
boo-boo.
I could have did that by myself. I could have.
Right. All by myself.
Where I wanted to go, right. Actually. Like, you took me somewhere I didn't even want
to be. How do y'all feel about coupons? What if?
Look, I don't mind a coupon. I don't mind. Yeah, it's okay.
On the first, a coupon on the first date?
Not on the first date, but that's a little sketchy. First of all, on a first date, but I mean, after I get to know you, maybe.
Listen, my uncle told me that if you do what you can when you're ready. There's no rush, right? So it's like it's no rush. Like if my brother wanted to go out on a date and he told me in advance, I'm gonna give him the money to make sure that he's gonna take the girl that he wants to pursue on a nice date. And all he has to do is show that he qualifies. Now, if she doesn't think so, then that's entirely up to her. But you're always gonna treat a lady as a queen. So I think if you don't got it, wait till you do, and express that to the person. Not like that, but like you show them that you're interested, and like even like a little picnic, you know, that doesn't have to cost much. A walk in the park and get ice cream. You can still do nice things on a budget.
I agree. So look, let's change it up a little bit and talk about how, as a single person wanting to be in a relationship, like what that actually means. Because I know that there are a lot of people who are single and they're lonely. And so have you experienced that? And how do you cope with that? Is that a real thing?
I'm experiencing. Oh, are you finished? Oh, I'm experiencing that right now. So yeah, I'm single. I'm not like, I do not have a boyfriend. So I get questions about this a lot, and I also have other interviews that we had that talked about it. But you gotta keep yourself busy. That's one thing. Like, because if you're not busy, you'll find yourself wandering into places you shouldn't be, or talking to people you shouldn't be talking to, when you could be focused on yourself. And I think Paul kind of said it best in, I think it was 1 Corinthians 7 chapter. I think he was just saying that you can do more when you're single. Like, and that's the truth. Like, you can go on trips. Like, I've been on trips. Like, you can take trips with friends. Like, you can, spend more time with God. You can build relationships with your friends. You can be a better friend. You can be a better sister. You can be a better cousin. So I think that plays a kind of big role in your life, and also the people that you kind of surround yourself with. So if you have, positive people who are like there to support you and like, help keep you busy, that's a plus. And honest friends, be like, hey man, I'm kind of struggling right now. I'm just sitting here waiting for my Boaz. Like, no, you should not be just sitting there waiting. First of all, get your butt up, go do something, make something happen, go chase a dream, go make a vision. There's so many things to do. And yes, sometimes it gets hard and frustrating, and you're like waiting, like, well, I'm 27, I'm 30, I'm 31. God, what's really good? Like, when you send in him or her, because that clock is ticking. I for real, I've learned just to be patient. It's hard, but I do feel like it'll be worth it in the end.
Definitely. Nader?
That's a good question. I love you, but I just want her to know that I love her.
I love you.
That is a really good question. I agree with Tyne. It is extremely important to keep busy, because when you're not busy, you have time to think, and your brain can be your biggest issue, So I think being proactive and constantly seeking God, I think when we don't put God in the forefront, we tend to make mistakes and feel different things. And then while we're feeling different things, we're pursuing things that are probably not meant to be in our lives. And I think a lot of people, in their late 20s, in their early 30s, middle 30s, you're like, what about me? Why have this person got married and she's younger than me? Or why is this person having a healthy relationship and I can't find somebody? But I think, like Tyne said, like, it's so important to concentrate on what do you want? Can I establish my goals and my dreams with even having somebody in my life right now? And then praying for your Boaz, praying for the qualities that you desire, so that when that individual sees you, you'll be ready. I think a lot of people are praying or want to be in relationships and they're not ready.
Yeah.
They can't even handle to take care of their themselves, let alone to love on someone else. And love is big.
Yep.
You know, you can't just say, I don't want to love you anymore. Once you are in that marriage, you have to continue to develop that. So I think it's just so important to establish yourself, to be content with who you are. And loneliness is an issue. But like Tyne also said, like, it's important not to be alone, because I struggle with that sometimes. May sometimes even be feeling lonely and or just being, when things happen to me, I tend to shut down. But it's important to surround yourself with good people, and that it says iron sharpens iron. So when you have people in your circle that's encouraging you, reminding you your worth, that loneliness kind of tends to like dwindle away, and you'll be encouraged and motivated to be like, okay, thank you, God, for this, this, and that. And I'm trusting you to allow me to meet the person that you that you have for me. So that's how I see it.
Yeah, I would definitely say, from someone who got married at the age of 20, loneliness was definitely a factor. I mean, I definitely did not want to have this baby by myself. I definitely did not want to be by myself. And so I made some choices. And I think what Tyne said was so true, that trusting that God will give you the right person. And because when you make the choice to just jump in based on how you're feeling or being lonely and not wanting to do things alone, you don't know what you're jumping into. And,
Right.
you know, for my particular situation, you know, it was 10 years of a lot of ups and downs that didn't just impact me, but impacted the kids that we created in the process, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely, I hear you guys. So I have another question, though.
Okay.
I know Tyne mentioned an important thing in dealing with the loneliness factor is being transparent, right, with each other. And I noticed that a lot of women aren't necessarily, and I wasn't, you know, back when I was dating, wasn't necessarily transparent as far as being lonely. Like we weren't really having conversations where it was like, girl, I just don't want to be by myself. And we was busy trying to, I guess, act like we're all good, you know? So do you have a lot of, like, do you find challenges with being transparent in your friendships or in your, you know, the community that you're building?
I would say no, not so, because I don't know if this sounds bad. I have different friends for different reasons. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, because okay, so I know pretty much almost everybody's schedule. I know who's the most busiest. Like, I know who's good at like listening with this thing. I know that one of my friends went through this struggle, so they can like kind of help me with that certain thing in that sense. So yeah.
I don't have a problem being transparent. But I think I think it depends on who that person is.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like,
Right.
You can't just.
I can be transparent with, you know, Tyne. With some people, I don't feel like everybody needs to know my private life, because everybody's not praying for me. You know, everybody's not trying to make sure that I excel and get to where I need to be.
Yeah.
Or, you know, even with a partner. So I think it's important to know, like, what type of friends you got,
right?
You know, like,
who you surround yourself with.
Yeah, who you surround yourself with.
Right.
Can I share this with you? Are you gonna make sure that whatever it is that you're gonna tell me is not from a selfish place? So yeah, I don't have that issue. I don't have an issue. I think you have to be transparent though, because if you're not, you're still hurting.
Like, there should be at least one person where you can tell like most of your transparency to, like the grittiest of stuff, like
whether that's your
the grittiest stuff, right? So yeah, and just be careful who who you're telling your stuff, your secrets to, I guess. But if not, if you don't have anybody, you can always talk to God.
Amen. Well, he do.
Yes, before I had friends, before I had Nader, before I was even in the KO music, like I mean, you know, young kids, we don't talk to our parents. So, you know, at the time, you know, I was like getting closer to God, and I was like, okay, so they just said, pray to you. And I was just like, okay, I'm just gonna pray. So God, yeah, well, they say you see everything, so I'm pretty sure you seen what I did yesterday. So I was just like, yeah. So I mean, if you don't have those friends around you, or you don't feel like you have those people that you can trust that much right now, then you can always talk to God. Like, God is for everybody. So, you know, if you write in a journal, you know, I have 6. So yeah.
I love how you guys are emphasizing building community with people that you can trust, and then also working on your relationship with God. And I was in service today, and one of the things that they were talking about was how we have to sometimes ask God to help us enjoy the journey that we're on, and not just be tolerating it. And
Right.
even though like you haven't seen the promises yet, know that you're getting closer to that, and that you know that God is still working on us. And he had brought up Isaiah chapter 40, verse 31, talking about waiting on the Lord, but not just waiting. While you're waiting, being busy and working.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, instead of being impatient about things that are not in our control, asking God to help us be faithful about the things that are in our control. So I think that was a great point that y'all brought up about really being able to enjoy being. And I want to talk about enjoying being single, because there are so many things that you guys can do that you cannot do when you are married and
For real.
family.
For real.
It's just good. And I think people, sometimes you think that the grass is greener on the other side, when there's a whole nother set of work that comes with being in a relationship and being married. Like, there's work involved in that. And it's just different, you know, when you're single. So I want to talk to you guys a little bit about what things that, as you're dating, or even as you're looking to get into a relationship, what things are you not willing to compromise on? Like, what are deal breakers for you?
Deal breakers. Okay. Sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Let me pull out my list. Hold on.
Right.
No, it's
just 6 journals, girl.
I feel like a deal breaker is you not knowing the Lord.
Yeah.
I cannot, because I'm trying to grow, and you know, when I do get married, I want my children to know the Lord. You know, like, I want them to lay hands on people even at a young age. I want them to love the Lord. So if the person that is leading me doesn't have a spiritual connection with the Heavenly Father, that is a no. Like, I'm not giving you my number. Goodbye. Like, because I need that. You know, it is my foundation. It is what I start my day off with. And he is the person that I'm connected to. So if you're not connected, that is an issue for me. So that's my deal breaker.
No.
You gotta pray. I need you to bless everything.
I need you to bless everything. Bless me.
Bless me. Bless the house. Bless it all. Because I have struggles, right?
Yeah.
I have struggles. And just to even be transparent, like, the person that was leading us, right, in my home isn't here. So I need that foundation laid early. So, and the way I feel like with submission, how can I submit to someone that I can't trust your decisions if you're not seeking the Lord first? So that is my biggest deal breaker. I'm gonna try to give like 3. I guess the second one I struggle with is manners. If you don't know how to use your utensils, or that is an issue for me. That is an issue for me. I need you to be a clean man, you know, brush your teeth, wash your face, use your utensils. Because that goes back all to family, I believe. So, and then I guess the last thing would be is not being family oriented. I have a really big family, and we are connected to the hip. If my sister needs something, my brother needs something, it gets done. Somebody, if we need to make sacrifices, it get done. So if he doesn't love his mother, that is an issue for me, because how can you love me if you don't love the person that gave you birth? So if you don't communicate with her daily, if you're not concerned about her well-being, that bothers me, because if I'm sick, then you will treat me how you treated your mother. And so those are my deal breakers.
Tyne?
Hold on, just gotta get my list real quick. I'm just going to piggyback. I concur with everything that Nader said, but I'm just gonna add to.
Okay.
So communication, like that's very, very important to me. Like if you do not know how to communicate when things go wrong, things go good, like why are we even here? It's important all around, and I don't even need to have to stress it. Like there's so many things that evolves around communication, you know, like I know people hear this all the time. Communication is key. Like you have to get through life with communication, you know. So, and just having someone on the same page with you as far as communication, that just makes everything so much better. Like I believe you'll have less arguments and more happy times.
It's terrible.
But seriously, communication is very important to me. And one more deal breaker is for me, don't come at me. This is just my deal breaker. Like me personally, like I don't want to do guys with like kids. Like I can't, like, cause I feel like I'm still a kid myself, and I don't want to raise anyone else's child. I mean, but there's people out there, it's just not for me. Like I'm out here jumping on trampolines and stuff. Like I don't want to take care of no one else's child. Like that's just me. So yeah, communication and no kids.
Yeah, I think it's super important that you know that know what you're able to work with, what you're able to deal with. Because you don't want to get into a situation and then you're like, I'm not really feeling this, but y'all all in love now.
Right.
You never were down for being a step parent, you know? So what about, do they need to be employed? I mean,
that's kind of, this list could be really long. We are just like summing it all up, like good hygiene, job, love God, communication, no yes or no kids, but I mean, yeah, like, just manners.
I mean, listen, if he's in school, if he's doing something,
yes,
like
busy.
If you have a vision, busy, yes.
Yes, I need a busy man. Oh, Jesus.
Then he's not lazy.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? So if he doesn't have a job, okay, well, what do you do with your free time?
Right.
Like, are you building yourself to get to the next place? Are you in school? Are you, an entrepreneur and you're trying to, have a successful business? Like, and I'll support you 100%. But if you are a BUM, okay, that's not gonna work.
BUM.
I always say that you want to be with somebody who enhances you, who brings something to the table, who's helping you grow. You don't want to necessarily be with someone, and it's okay. Like if you're on this level, then you're on that level. But if I'm on this level and you're down here, then how are you enhancing me? What are you bringing? What are you bringing to me to help me grow? Because I want to evolve.
Yep. So to sum that all up, we need a hustler. Hello, he can't not be a hustler. All right, he got to be out here getting some type of change.
Being productive.
Yes.
Being productive. Right. Has a vision, has a plan.
Yes. Have a vision, have a plan. Yes.
Okay. So look, two more things I would like for us to cover in our conversation. I know, Nader, we had talked earlier and you were talking about, so you're in a relationship now. And
yes, I am.
you were saying that you're not necessarily with the person that you thought you would be with, or the type of person that you thought you would be with, and how you had to be open to that. Can you talk a little bit more about that? Because I think sometimes we have our checklist, right, of our deal breakers, and then we have like our deal breaker might be like, oh, he got to be brown skin, or or he got to have curly hair. We making these.
Oh Lord.
And like, really, God might have him. He might have some straight hair. He might be light skinned. So,
oh, Jesus.
Short but sweet.
Yes. Well.
Lord help her.
So okay. So yeah, we were talking about that earlier, and I was praying for not even qualities. Some a little bit were qualities, but more so was like for that God will bring me what I can handle and someone who can handle me. Because I know I could be a handful. I know, but God blessed him with two big hands. So yes, I do have a boyfriend, and he may not look like my past. Well, I'll say that, or what people may have would have picked for me, perhaps. But he is everything that I need, and then some. He can handle me. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful that he's constantly praying for me, praying over me, even when I don't want to pray. And that's just being honest. Sometimes I am so low sometimes. And he encouraged me to pray, to seek God. He is a provider. He is a lover. He is kind, sweet. And that's what I fell in love with first, was his heart. He is such an open book, and all he wants is just love, simple. And he pursued me constantly. For a whole month when we were talking, I never gave him my number. Never. He asked like 3 times, I think. Like, when are you gonna give me my number? I gave him an email. Like, here, be content with this. And you could tell he would get frustrated sometimes because, he wanted to talk to me at different times of the day. And I'm like, I'm not going to be available. How about that? But then in due time, I saw that he wasn't trying to get what most men try to pursue. He was trying to get my heart. And then I gave him my number. And then here we are.
Yeah, I think it's important that sometimes we think that we know what we want, and not just in relationships, but in life in general. We think we know what we want. We think we know what's best for us. And sometimes God has this stuff on pause for us because we are thinking incorrectly about what it is exactly that we need. But he always knows what is best for us. And he's trying to prepare what is best for us. And sometimes he got to get us together so that we can clearly see.
He get me together right now.
Yeah, because we're visual, I think we see with our eyes. And once we see with our eyes, we want it, right? And I think that's what gets us in trouble. We're not seeing the depth of the person, and I think once you get to know a person, like Tyne said, communication. If you're not in communication, but you're lusting, your flesh is hot, and you're like, oh, he's fine, and he's trouble. Right. That's trouble. But when you get to know somebody, and he's like, all I want to do is hold your hand. I'm like, you're not trying to touch me, he's like, no. And I'm like, oh, okay. So it just, it's really. It goes hand in hand. Like, you have to know what you want, but then be open-minded to receive something else. And once you're open to receive, then God can give you what He has been holding for you.
So how do you keep yourself? Because I know you mentioned this later a little bit, like about like lusting or what you see. How do you keep yourself from? Because that's a real temptation, right? That's real. So I guess Tyne, how do you see yourself? I mean, how do you keep yourself from? I guess from falling into temptation.
Right. I'll piggyback of what I said kind of earlier, like, you know, just keeping yourself busy, you know, making sure. Well, for me, like, I'm real. Like, if I can't get to Nader, like, I got an older brother, like, he got kids, married, like, bro, like, when God gonna send me my man? Because I'm just like, I'm out here lusting. Like, I can be real with him. Like, I'm like, bruh, I don't know how long I could take this. He's like, well, you reading your Bible? I was like, nah, big bro, not. Well, go do that. Go read your Bible. I'm like, you right. And also they have very good Bible plans in the Bible. I use YouVersion, so they have very good Bible plans in there. They have stuff for love. They have categories for lust. They have relationships, marriages again. Like, so all those like all these things you can utilize. YouTube, you know, it's the guru. Okay, you can find so many things on YouTube to take up your time that are positive, that can keep your mind off lusting. So that's what I'm actually doing now. You know, doing all those things. How do you not lust? Right. How do you not lust?
It sounds like accountability, like having somebody that you're accountable to, and then with that accountability partner, being honest with them. Like, I think sometimes we trip ourselves up as just people in general, because we don't be honest with ourselves. Like, if I'm struggling with this, let me at least be honest with myself that I'm struggling with it, and then find someone else that I can actually trust and be accountable to, that'll help me through what I'm going through right now.
Right. See, that's really hard for Christians too, you know, because you're trying to live saved.
Right.
And like social media, they got stores. There's like
not stores.
I'm just on it. Like, you know, there's everything is at the tip of your fingers, you know. So I feel like it's very hard. But I said, I'm gonna say this, like, this is what Niti said. So no, I'm not gonna say it.
Okay.
No, but it's good to like you said, know where you're at, be honest with yourself and pray. Pray a lot. Pray fast if you need to.
Pray, cry fast. Get off social media. Do whatever it is you need to do.
And I think I would definitely say is to block your gates, right? So if you are a visual person and you know, like, you watching that, you gotta block it, you know. Or if you know, like, listening to this song is a trigger and you trying to live safe, or if you know that drinking gets you there, then maybe you shouldn't be drinking, you know, because those are all triggers for you. And then just one man can make it a mistake and you're starting all over again.
My God.
So you know, God is a forgiving God, but for us to live not in sin, we have to refrain. And for me, it was a lot of prayer. It was a lot of prayer, a lot of fasting, staying in the house, not going out for a couple of days, just to keep myself centered. It's not easy, but accountability makes it helpful.
So my last question, or the last thing I'd like to talk about, is something I'm actually interested in. How can, or what advice do you have for married women as to how to support a single woman? Because, you know, one thing behind Teacher Talks is that I really want to build a community of women who are able to support each other. And sometimes I'll say, as a married woman, sometimes I don't necessarily know how to support a single woman. in terms of what to say, because my girl, like, I'll say my girlfriend, she's married. She tells me all the time. She's like, you know, I tell my single friends, like, I'm not going to judge. I'm not going to say anything because I got these guys, you know, laying next to me every day. And
Hey!
right. So I don't want, I think you kind of, as a married woman, you're kind of like trying to figure out exactly how I can be supportive, but not make it sound like condescending. You know what I mean? So what advice would you give us as to how to support?
I would say just be the person that you were when you were single. Like, what advice, you know, would you give yourself or to a friend that if y'all was both single, like, you know, but I know it's like, it's kind of hard, but I guess kind of put yourself in the singles person's shoes. So like, just be honest, like be transparent. Like, say if I'm married and I'm talking to a single friend, you're like, girl, I know, like, trust me, I've been there. Like, you know, when you come to, you know, like some common ground, I guess in a sense, it kind of helps the situation. Like, yeah, you're right. Like, yeah, when you were single, this this happened, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I think I could do that. And also just, you know, just making sure that that person is, you know, staying busy, you know, doing the necessary things, you know, like, hey, you good? Like, and like, no, are you really good? Like, because I ask some of my friends that all the time, and you know, the first word they say, like, yeah, I'm good. Like, and then like I ask them the second time, you're like, well, stuff that happened today, and you know, I'm just not in a good space and stuff like that. So just being honest, transparent with the single person, you know, I don't want nothing more but honesty and transparent, because obviously that the married person been there already. So, you know, in the singles position. So, you know, and plus we can get knowledge from married people and single people. My parents been married for 30 years and I'm still learning things from them. Like they've all the 27 years I've lived with them, like I've seen them grow. I've seen the worst parts of them and I've seen the good parts, and they still made it. So yeah, I learn visually. I don't like getting in their business. That's them over there. But yeah, so yeah, just being honest and transparent. Like they be honest and transparent with me. Like, yeah, your dad, blah blah blah, and that, but also it's okay. Like they reassure, like everything is cool, you know. And that's, I'm sorry, I just rambled. But yeah, just
being real. You the best way that we could support is just, I guess, being real.
Yeah, being real. Yep. Like, girl, it's okay, but he gonna come. Like, if that's the desire of your heart, boo, you gonna get your boo ass. You gonna get your Proverbs 21. All right, 31, 21.
You're the Proverbs 31.
31, 21.
31. Proverbs 31.
Well, Nader, do you have any?
I'm working on it, Jesus. Working on it.
That's a good question too. I agree with Tyne.
Yeah.
I agree with her. I think, you know, you were once single too. And what would you want to know? Right. You know, but I think,
do you think, because I know sometimes in the church, I've been told by other singles that it kind of feels like married versus single.
What does that mean?
Like hating?
Yeah, just like as far as not versus single, like they're in a competition, but like there's two different worlds happening. And like the married people don't necessarily know how to relate to the single people, and the single people either feel left out or don't know how to relate to the married people. And so I've been told that.
They're two different things, right? Yeah. Like, you know, you can't live like a single person because you got a whole husband, right? And me, it's like, it's a little different because I have, you know, to respect so many different things. But I think what it is not to be in competition, because there are some married folk that are miserable. I want to.
I don't know how.
I would like, you know, for some married folk to to just, I think it's still building a sisterhood, right? That's how I see it. Like,
or brotherhood.
Or brotherhood, right? You know, checking up on them. You know, how are you? How is it? How are you holding up? Just converse, and I think with conversing with somebody, you'll see where they're at, and you may even know somebody that may fit for that person, or if that person is struggling in an area, like for example, loneliness, you can probably give that person a book or take them out, you know, talk to them so that wherever they may be, they're not in that position anymore. So like, you know, like I talk to Nisi a lot, and it's crazy because I used to talk to Ish twice as much, and the roles have switched. I don't really speak to him as much as I speak to his wife, and it just happened, you know. But she holds me accountable in a lot of things. And once, you know, once conversation begins, then, you know, they can help you in those specific areas. But I think both parties have to be open to talk to one another. So like, if you see somebody that you like and you know that she's single, you could be pouring into her and opening doors for her with just simple conversation. Like, for example, Tisha talks, you know, and then she's like, oh my God, like, I didn't know you did that. And then it just starts to snowball. So that's what I think. Just building a sisterhood and a brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that is a great example of, you know, how someone who is married can pour into the life of a single person, especially when you're single, but also when you're in a relationship.
Right.
To kind of help you, guide you or gear you towards.
It's kind of like counseling.
Right.
Yeah. And that can, you know, whatever it is that you went through, whether if it was, you know, you being single or boyfriend, girlfriend or whatever, you can help me prevent making certain mistakes leading into something else, you know, so I don't have to, you know, keep falling. And with the guidance of someone who is married, they can steer me into the right direction, so I'm not making poor decisions as a single person, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, definitely. So ladies, thank you. We are.
Thank you.
That was fun.
It was fun. It was.
But I want to give you an opportunity to, I guess, give one last piece of advice or anything that you want to give to women in general, married women, single women, whoever, about being single in 2018 that would, I guess, encourage and motivate them and inspire them in this journey and season that they're in. So I'll let you guys at it.
I'm just gonna say, united we stand, divided we fall. So the more we're all helping each other together, like this, doing this, like it betters everything, you know. So, and I don't really have much to say. Like I guess all my answers, they kind of speak for themselves. Like just be patient. And sometimes it's probably not coming because like we said, we got to work on ourselves, you know. That's why I probably think I am right now. I need to work on myself so I can align myself correctly. And sometimes it just happens and you're not even expecting it. So patience. I know a lot of people, you know, they struggle with patience, you know, it could be for the simplest things, but it's a growth. But I think that's it. That's keeping positive friends around. Make sure you're being active. Make sure you're reading your word, getting in God's face, and having accountability partners. Yeah. Oh, and not putting yourself in dangerous situations. Not dangerous, but you know, tempting situations. Know yourself.
Yeah.
Oh, and my last one.
That's a good one.
Yeah. My last one in closing remarks. love self, then you'll be able to love someone else.
You go, girl. You should just become more.
Not a preacher. Oh God.
That was really good.
That's a lyric, girl. That's a lyric to a song.
Hello. Don't give me. Hold on. Let me write that down.
Closing remarks. Okay, so yeah, I like everything that Tyne said. I really do. Patience. And I think, okay, so yes, patience. And I think, enjoy where you're at, wherever that may be. Mm-hmm. Just enjoy it. I just feel like, take yourself out, whether that may be a dinner by yourself, or dinner or like a movies. I think we rely on people so much that being alone is so scary that sitting by yourself is awkward, and that shouldn't be. You should be comfortable and content with who you are, how you look, how you feel, whether if you have makeup on or not. Not to seek someone else's approval. And when you do meet someone, make sure that you're adding to the person, that you're not, you're not losing your identity, because at the end, I think it's important to know who you are, really, because if you're with somebody else and they're telling you what to do, you just became that person and you're just going about it with the flow. So I think just be patient, like Tyne said. Love yourself as well. Do everything, make money, travel, write a book. Yes. If it's on your heart, do it. Just do it all, because you may not be able to do it all when you are married.
Hello.
Because you're taking also onto his vision. So, just trust in the Lord. That's my biggest thing. Just trust in God. We don't know what we're doing. I really feel like we're a bunch of lost minions,
right?
Like, just roaming around.
God, help me, God. Figure it out.
And we need direction. Yeah. But I do positive affirmations. I pray to God, and I really ask him that his will be done in my life, and I will follow, because I know my will sucks and I'm just not good. I am totally a complete mess without God. So, yeah, I really believe that. And just find what works for you. So what may work for Tyne and I may not work for the next person. But I think, write down what you are looking for in a person, pray about it, put it away, and focus on yourself.
Yeah.
And everything will come together.
What she said.
I think that this has been a really, really good conversation. And yes. I'm glad that we had it.
Yes.
Me too.
I think as a mother of young adults, like my oldest she'll be 21 this September. Mm-hmm. And so, wait, did September pass already? She's 21. Right. 21. Yes. She is 21. But my oldest is 21. And then I have, a 19-year-old and a 17-year-old who will be 17 soon. That these conversations are so important to be able to look up to other women and for them to be transparent and authentic in where they are and how they are able to make it through and to continue to grow. And so I really appreciate you guys being honest and willing to have these conversations, because honestly, these young ladies out here are in desperate need of trying to figure out how to do this thing called life and how to do it single,
I think another thing too is not to bend, not like, don't make compromises on what you feel as though that are strong beliefs for you. If you feel as though that whatever that may be is like, and he's saying like, well, you need to do this or else. Like, don't. Because then that's not the person that was supposed to be in your life, because he's not supporting you. You know, so it's like, don't fall for pressure. And I feel like so many women fall under pressure because we want to keep something, and God's trying to push that person out of our lives. You know, I had to deal with that, and it wasn't fun, constantly making compromises, and I'm like living a broken life. So I think if we know our worth, self-respect, respect ourselves, you know, wait, it will work out.
Well, thank you, ladies. Thank you guys for joining me on this episode of Tisha Talks.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Being single in 2018, I hope that we're able to, I don't believe that this will be our last time having a conversation. Maybe the topic will be a little bit different, or maybe a little bit more specific, but I definitely would like to continue in these conversations and engaging and just giving a platform for us to talk about this stuff. But as always, when passion meets purpose, great things happen. We will talk to you guys later.
Okay, thank you.